Who decided to build the World Trade Center? Why did they build the World Trade Center? Why were the Twin Tower windows so small? Why did they build the Twin Towers so tall? Why did they build two towers instead of one single tower? What engineering made the Twin Towers look so simple? Apart from the terrorist attacks, what was the main cause of the Twin Towers collapse? This is the untold story of the World Trade Center. Before the World Trade Center was built, the Empire State Building was the tallest building in the world. The construction of the Empire State Building was completed in 1931. The height of the Empire State Building was 1,250 feet, which is equal to 381 meters. It stayed the world's tallest building for more than 40 years, until the World Trade Center was completed in the early 1970s. Before the World Trade Center, the most visited tower and tourist place in New York was the Empire State Building Observatory. Normally, people would visit the top floor of the Empire State Building to see the city. Before the Twin Towers, when people thought of New York, they mostly thought of the Empire State Building. It symbolized New York City around the world. Who decided to build the World Trade Center? The decision to build the World Trade Center was made by the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. This is a government organization that manages big projects like bridges, airports, and ports. Many other groups, like New York City departments, public utilities, and transport systems, also helped with the project. Austin J. Tobin was the head of the Port Authority. He approved the project and oversaw its construction. Austin Joseph Tobin was an American public administrator, best known as the longtime executive director of the Port of New York Authority. His 30-year tenure shaped the region's modern transportation, infrastructure, and the original World Trade Center. Another key figure behind the construction of the World Trade Center was David Rockefeller. Rockefeller was an American banker and philanthropist, and a grandson of oil magnate John D. Rockefeller. As chairman and chief executive of Chase Manhattan Bank, he became one of the world's most influential financiers. Rockefeller supported the World Trade Center project to boost Lower Manhattan's economy and helped move the project forward. Who was the architect of the World Trade Center? The World Trade Center was designed by architect Minoru Yamasaki. Minoru Yamasaki was a Japanese-American architect, best known for designing the original World Trade Center. Yamasaki was the son of Japanese immigrants in Seattle. He earned a Bachelor of Architecture at the University of Washington in 1934, followed by graduate studies at New York University. Why did they build the World Trade Center? There were three main reasons for building the World Trade Center. Number one, make New York City a global business center. Number two, bring businesses back to Lower Manhattan, which was losing its importance at that time. Number three, create one place where many international companies could work together. The idea was to support global trade, which is why it was called the World Trade Center. Why were the Twin Towers windows so small? Why didn't they build larger windows? The first reason was fear of heights. Architect Minoru Yamasaki was reportedly afraid of heights. He believed that large, floor-to-ceiling windows on a 110-story building would make people feel scared or unsafe. Smaller, narrow windows made workers feel more protected and secure. The second reason was column spacing. The exterior columns were set only 40 inches apart. The window was placed between these columns, resulting in a narrow window width of roughly 18 to 20 inches. The third reason was about design and human comfort. Minoru Yamasaki wanted the towers to look strong, solid, and safe from the outside. Large windows would have changed the simple, uniform look of the towers. Small windows helped keep the design uniform and balanced. The fourth reason was wind resistance. The windows were only 18 inches wide and very strong. They were made to handle powerful winds and high pressure at great heights. Why did they build the Twin Towers so tall? Why didn't they build a wider building instead? They were built very tall because land in New York is very expensive. Tall buildings save space by going up instead of spreading wide. The towers were meant to show power, growth, and modern technology. At the time, they showed that the United States was strong in engineering and business. When completed, they were the tallest buildings in the world. Why did they build two towers instead of one single tower? There were several reasons. First, space. The project needed a massive 10 million square feet of office space, which would have been impractical in a single building. Second, elevators. Very tall building need many elevators. Those elevator shafts consume a lot of floor space, leaving less room for offices. By splitting the height into two towers, architects reduced the number of elevators and created more space. Third, winds. Strong winds are harder to control in a very wide tower. Two slim towers allow wind to pass more easily. Fourth, architect's vision. The architect, Minoru Yamasaki, explored over 100 models before settling on the Twin Towers. He felt that a single massive tower was too overbearing, while a complex with many smaller towers looked too much like a housing project. He wanted the Twin Towers to symbolize peace and to talk to each other in the skyline. And they created a balanced and iconic look, and the design symbolizes partnership and global connections. The Twin Towers were built to help business, save space, look powerful, and become a symbol of New York and the modern world. Apart from the terrorist attacks, what was the main cause of the Twin Towers' collapse? When the aircraft hit the towers, many perimeter columns were damaged. The jet fuel and office materials caused intense fires. These fires burned very hot and weakened the steel structure. The aircraft's impact also damaged many core columns. As the columns weakened, they could no longer support the weight of the upper floors. The upper floors began to move downward. The damaged structure could not support the sudden load, and the floors started to fall, one on top of another, causing the total collapse of the towers. Within seconds, the collapse continued floor by floor until the entire tower came down.